And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell-Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell-Blanken. Tyler, it is Saturday as we record this little Easter treat. How are you doing today?
It feels so different. I'm doing well. We just had a great 100-minute conversation or thereabouts, a little over an hour and a half. It feels so good to catch up with you and to see you, Brad. It was an absolute hell of a week. My gosh, I can't believe we made it through, man. Between work, between school, some real challenges, but we got through it. And like I said, I'm just overjoyed to be here. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I'm gassed, as I am wont to say. Study session this morning, worked out, haven't done anything since. It's been kind of great. I think I washed some towels. That's about it.
Hey, that's come up on that Saturday towel washing. That's productivity.
It's something, right? The towels,
it's something. They're not going to wash themselves.
Yeah, they're probably not going to get put away either, but they're definitely clean now. At least they're cleaner than the ones that were clean and are still on the laundry room floor.
That's an absolute win. Both of us had group project meetings, Zooms, and you hit the gym. How is the gym flow going? You're back at it?
Yes, back is the operative word there. Tyler, I didn't tell you this. Last week I did squats. I was like, I'm not sure how this is going to go. I'm just going to go super deep. I'm going to put 25 plates on the outside. We'll just start a little bit lighter. So that brings it to what, like 95 pounds, and then just do really deep squats. And it was fine. Really good. I got a lot more reps out of it, but not as much as I would have liked. But, it was the first time hitting the squat rack in like a year and a half. So this week I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try. I felt good. I'm just going to go heavier and do fewer reps. And I went with the 45s at the side. So about as deep, not quite as deep. And on my second set, on my way up, on my way down, I think I leaned forward a little bit too much. And I felt something just move in my lower back, upper butt area. And it was
the medical term. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Yes. The gluteus maximus. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I couldn't even figure out where it hurt. Like, it was one of those things where it's tight back there, and I had to walk with a little bit of a hunch for a day or two. But I
students calling you on it? They're so honest.
Well, the second day, so that was like, let's just say it was Tuesday. I think it might have been Tuesday.
Okay.
Wednesday morning, they were like, "You good?" Because I was getting up going, like every single time. Just
you good, bro?
Yeah, I got actually that exact phrase was
right. That's a meme or a TikTok.
Yes,
or
exactly.
I'm such an old guy. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. It was good, but it was really good getting back in the flow of it, revisiting gym etiquette and it not being observed by other people. This morning we had Mildew Stinky Jones next to me working out. I had to leave the room and go somewhere else. He smelled like those towels, but if I washed them and just left them in the washer for a couple days, it was gnarly.
That's not pleasant.
No, beats the toenail I found in the carpet in one of the rooms though.
So you and I were talking beforehand, a gym segment absolutely has to be added to the dossier of Gimmick Infringement. Yes. We don't know the name yet. We don't know the imaging, but I think this is going to be a thing sooner than later.
If you have ideas, you can hit us up on GIPod19 I'm at Wind Duster, and Tyler is at Tyler J McDowell on Twitter. You'll get those again at the end. If you're watching, they're up on the screen minus the GIPod19. Let us know what you think the segment should be called. We can leave that up to you. I think that would be kind of cool. And we'll figure it out. Unless it's a dick joke. I don't want to do that.
We can agree there. Brad, we can also agree that we have to talk WWE. Man, what a week it was. I won't even give any other exposition. I'll just go to my prepared question for you here.
Perfect.
And now, It's time to talk WWE.
The official press release emerged last Monday morning. WWE has agreed to merge with UFC to form a new publicly traded company controlled by Endeavor Group. Certainly our viewers and listeners, I'm sure, are aware of this, right? That's not breaking news for you. So seeing Vince McMahon and Ari Emanuel on that CNBC interview made my skin crawl. It made my skin crawl, Brad. McMahon has the adult film star mustache, and he's winning. Also, speculation ran rampant that his sticky fingers were all over Monday Night Raw. I'm getting closer to my question, I promise. Triple H appeared on both Raw and SmackDown. There's still hope that he will have a lead role in creative. Cody Rhodes, on the other hand, still isn't champion, and now he's starting a feud with Brock Lesnar. Brad, how are you doing today as a WWE fan? Where's your mind? Where's your heart? And overall, just fill us in on your state of mind as we embark on another conversation about the perils of being a WWE fan.
I can tell you, first of all, thank you for that wonderful introduction, lead-in question, context, background, all of that. That was really good. Number one, Vince McMahon looks like Vincent Price, not Vince McMahon. He's now Vincent McMahon. And he is not a very good, he's like a Vincent Price impersonator, but it looks like he's wearing stage makeup and not, it doesn't actually have a mustache. It's gnarly. Second, I don't like you're not allowed to ever say sticky fingers involving Vince McMahon, given the allegations.
Agreed. Horrendous. This is
terrible.
Why I'm upset. How is this guy winning again? Credible sexual assault.
He's
right. Good call.
Because he's merging with the company that their leader is a wife slapper. That's why. On tape, on video, and he's
precisely. I was thinking sticky fingers due to the blood money from the Saudis. You are absolutely right, though. That is. Please continue. Noted.
Could be any number of other egregious events too. Yes.
So
I don't have a lot of good things to say about that dude right now. So thankful for what he did to the biz, even though he kind of killed it, resurrecting it and then making it into one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world. Mad respect for that. Everything else, terrible human being by all counts. People have their opinions from an outside observer based on the data. I really struggled to tune in. Now, SmackDown, I thought was decent this week. I thought it was pretty good. We had storylines that were furthered. We had wrestling on the card. Raw was one of the worst episodes of television I've seen in a long time. I didn't care about any of the matches, all 29 minutes worth of wrestling. None of it had stakes. And then the only thing I got out of it is they protected Cody by killing him. And the way they protected him was he was supposed to fight for that belt. The stip was if he fights Roman and Solo, he can never challenge for the title ever again. Well, Brock beat his ass before the bell ring, so that stip doesn't count. So now Cody can challenge for the belt at some point further down the line. Will he? No. I mean, maybe. Who knows? I hate this. I hate this so much. It might make it better for the story. And I said this last week, I believe, and Paul Heyman brought it up. If Cody wins, what do you do then? Because the story is him getting that belt. So if Cody wins the belt, he has no more story. So where does it go from there? That being said, because I kind of agreed with that. That being said, I don't think he'll ever be hotter than what he was at WrestleMania. Not ever. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. It felt very much, I said this to, I think, to Doc. I felt a little bit like pulling the trigger on Randy during the pandemic era, a month too late to get the title off of Drew when he was doing the Legend Killer thing. Then he was just murdering Christian and Big Show and all these people. That was awesome. He was on fire. And I was invested, and I think people were invested there was no people in the audience, and it was still like massively over. And then he lost, and then he lost again. I think he lost like 3 or 4 times in that feud. Finally won the belt, and I was like, why did he even get another shot? This doesn't make sense. But I think that if they wait too long, it'll cool off again, and then people won't be as invested in it. I hope I'm wrong. And maybe his popularity isn't doing it like that. Maybe he'll end up being popular and people want to see him win that as a heel, but I don't think that works. I really don't think that works. If he cheats his way into it, that could be the story. You know, he beats Roman, but he does it by cheating. That could be the story. I don't know. Here's the thing I'm wondering about it. I don't really care about it, and I'm not invested in it. I'm just wondering what they're going to do. Am I going to tune in to find out? Yes, to social media. It's one of those storylines right now where I don't need to watch to find out what happens. I'd rather see what happens with Jay and Sammy, and Jay and Solo, Jay and Jimmy, Jay and Roman, main event Jay time. I think that all could be really good. I have no idea. I think Riddle showing up and being put into this feud is really good. Because that's the reason he was gone. The commentary did a good job of putting that fact out there, that Solo's the reason he was gone for 4 months and not because of drug abuse. But I'm glad he's back. Hopefully he's doing well and he's clean. That's all we can hope, right? Like, is hope people figure it out. But man, there's a lot of messy stuff going on. Charlotte's taking more time off. I have a question about that for you later. We have people that are just non-existent lately. We don't know what's going on with all of the top of the card feels pretty good. And then literally none of the other stuff matters. So it's really difficult to care about the product right now. I'm not invested in seeing the Alpha Academy versus, doesn't matter who it is. Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders is probably going to be a great match. Why are they doing it? I don't care. I don't want to see it because I don't care. It'll probably be fun, but I don't care. So what can they do to make me care? How can they add stakes? That's what I want to see going forward. People keep going like the UFC bought the WWE or Endeavor bought the WWE. No, they did it. They merged. They've become one big company. The thing that's important is that because Endeavor was worth more, they now have controlling interest over WWE. Vince will never have full control over WWE ever again once the merger is finalized.
51%, right?
Yeah, they have 51. Yeah. They have 49 on the WWE side, but of that, Vince doesn't even have that much. And
but they requested that Vince stay. That he be with the company. Yeah. The whole interview was like, let's praise Vince. We need him here. He's a genius. We want him involved in this.
Yeah.
I thought we had moved past that. We had a whole reckoning. We had a whole episode about what does this mean? Vince is now gone. We can praise him for his accomplishments, but realize that there are these allegations and X, Y, and Z that tells us, okay, he should not be around. And all of a sudden, he's just back, and we're supposed to be okay with it.
Listen, Endeavor, you could rename them Evolution. Vince is Randy Orton in this scenario. We know what's next. They gassed that dude up to be comfortable with the deal. They didn't spend a penny, not one damn cent, to acquire the WWE, and they now have full control. Really think about that for a second. Not $1. They now own Vince McMahon. They can do whatever they want.
So you think they're taking the cerebral play here?
100%.
Okay. That's comforting.
People. Yeah. These aren't stupid people. The second it looks like things are slipping, or like, hey, I think this is what we're going to do. This is the platform. If Vince is like, I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea. It's going to be what we do. Bye.
I hope you're right. I do.
I can't see it playing out. I can't see it playing out any other way.
Let it play out, pal. No more. No more. You should go away. Like, you have this lump sum of money, retirement, whatever you got to do. Just not. No.
Yeah, I feel like maybe he gets like a trash bag with his stuff in it, and
Oh,
it's
well said.
best of luck
Well
with your
said.
future with Endeavor,
Well
and that's it.
said.
Yeah.
But he's got the mustache, he's got the dyed hair. It makes me feel like this interview, but like you said, he could maybe want to make this epic comeback, but Endeavor could say, "Nah, homie, you got to hit the bricks. Peace."
There have been a few people that we have worked with in the high school setting that have come in with the bad hair dye job, like bad. You are you are 78 years old and your hair is jet black. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? This is what is happening right now. You look seconds away from needing a nap. Your hair's not that vital. Okay. When your skin looks like raw chicken, your hair should not be jet black.
Yeah, you're not lying.
There's been a couple people that have come on campus and I
You-
just like, oh hey, whoa. Wow. Spring break did you some good, huh? Yeah. Really youthful this week. Oh, that's just tar in your head. That's okay. All
yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. Go
Vince
for the
Vince
Rudy Giuliani.
Vince looked like he had a spray tan, a fake mustache. The hair was black. Like who thought that was a good idea?
It's just sad. It's
He just
like,
hit
come,
the
this
just for
is
men aisle.
right. It's just it's sad. It's upsetting. I yeah. It's complicated, man. Like I feel like this is a road. This is just it's
Yeah.
so cyclical of us having these
Yeah.
conversations. And I don't think hopefully that's not any shade on us, but it's just the thinking about we invest so much time in WWE on air, off air,
Yeah.
and when it's good, it's great.
Yes.
But I just thought we reached a point where, but to your point, Brad, this is the last thing I'll say because I know we're going long on it. We knew that there was speculation about a sale, right? So Vince is going to be involved. If this is the selling, quote unquote, of his company, of course he needs to be there. I'm just hoping that now we are truly forging onto new territory and we're not having this conversation to open an episode a year from now where it's still Vince talk.
It's especially upsetting now that we have to deal with a Vince McMahon that looks like somebody wearing a Vince McMahon disguise. Tyler, my question for you. I don't want to add anything positive to that conversation. In WWE right now, we have people like John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and now Charlotte Flair as superstars who sort of return. They're in the title picture and then they disappear for a while. What are your thoughts on this trend? And what do you want to see from Charlotte Flair in the future?
My cynical side said an AEW run. And that's not to hate on WWE. If we could just make a swap happen,
Yeah.
A hypothetical swap, I'd be good with that. Because I think there are talents in both companies where it's really intriguing to imagine them jumping ship because they've just accomplished everything they can in one company. Let's see what they can do, over there. Like I'm thinking of like a Jade for Charlotte Flair. I think that would benefit both performers, both places. I love Jade in AEW. But I mean, imagine her on WWE. Like that's just printing money. What do I want from Charlotte Flair? Well, of course, I want her to be happy. I want her to be healthy. Number one and number two. In terms of storyline wise, I'm still upset that we never got that 4 horsewomen's match in a fatal 4-way setting.
Right.
Bailey versus Becky versus
Don't think that's happening.
formerly known as Sasha, now Mercedes versus Charlotte. That would be what I'm yearning for first. But again, we know that's complicated because a vital component of that quartet is not in WWE currently, even though she's killing it right now.
And Bailey might be up in the air.
And who knows? I think Becky's in a solid spot there, and I think the company views her as a top level act. Yeah, Brad, this is a tough one. I don't know if I'm giving you. Maybe I'm stalling because I don't have a good answer for you. She's just done everything that there is. When she does come back, I definitely want her character to be heel. I think that's when she's at her best. I know this is an earth-shattering take on providing you. I think her heel work is the best work. I would love a Charlotte versus a Roxanne Perez program. So if Charlotte's back, say SummerSlam time, and presumably Roxanne is already on the main roster by then, I would love that to be a program. I don't think it needs a title involved.
Sure.
Kind of a new generation performer versus Charlotte would be the route I would go. I think her and Roxanne could have an absolute banger of a feud. So I'm going to go there. In terms of Brock, I'm pretty sure you mentioned Brock, this trend of like returning stars.
Yeah, Brock and Cena, yeah.
Brock and Cena, the more I think about it, the more I'm disappointed with that Theory versus Cena match. I don't know if I eloquently conveyed my honest thoughts on that one, but I thought that was going to be a really big moment for Theory. And even for Cena. The entrance for Cena was amazing, but then he lost. So I guess it's screw them kids that were on stage with him. Your heroes will lose eventually. And I didn't feel like Theory was really put over by that match, which why are we doing that match if Theory isn't put over in a major way?
Sure.
He had to hit a low blow and then it was over, you know. I don't know, man. You know I'm pretty down on Brock returning. I have very little interest in Brock versus Cody. Every Brock match is the same. Future Hall of Famer, first ballot Jones, but he just pops up and he's in matches of prominence. And by the way, Brad, I know how excited you were for the Monday Night Raw after Mania. So I was looking feverishly for your text. I was also looking at Twitter. And the first thing I saw, Brad, for WWE's account on Monday was Rise Homo Sapiens. And you have Omos standing victoriously after beating Elias, I believe.
Yep.
So my thought process was, wait, we just saw Omos lose to Brock after only one F5. What do you mean Omos is here for vengeance and he's unstoppable? He loses every big match he's in. So Brock beat him. Done. And now Brock is going to fight Cody. I have no interest in it, man. I have hopes for Charlotte. I would be really happy if Brock is good with retiring. I want to see his Hall of Fame speech. I don't. His matches don't do anything for me anymore. So I'm pretty down on stars returning out of the blue. Cena match, really disappointing. Brock feud, not very interested, especially if he beats Cody. And I don't know. I don't know what you do with Charlotte at this point other than maybe a Roxanne feud down the road. How about you, though? Are you more optimistic? I know this is a pretty down way to start the episode. Do you have some optimism to give us? I think it might be needed.
No, I have thoughts of like what I would like Charlotte to do. I think her in a feud with like what you said, some of the younger talent, Roxanne Perez could be really great. I want to see her wrestle Piper Niven in a feud. I want a proper feud that would help Piper so much as a character, making her like just because she's been in a bunch of spots, but she loses all of her big spots. And she's incredible. And she's like one of the biggest, most credible threats you could have to somebody like Bianca or somebody like Rhea, because you've burned through everybody else. Charlotte and Raquel would be good. There's a whole bunch of
great call.
Right?
Great
There's a
really
whole bunch of
on
younger.
Raquel. Yep.
Yeah, I am too. There are things, but for the most part, like for her talent and her in-ring thing, not her personal life stuff, which I don't love. She's undeniable inside of that ring. She just has an incredible presence. The fans love her. I would love to see something like that.
Yeah, she's gonna have a title run at some point soon.
But like you, I think it would be cool if she showed up at a different promotion. I don't think Charlotte Flair works in something like New Japan. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. The way that Rhea and Charlotte laid into each other at Mania felt Joshi. Like they were hitting each other really hard. I don't know if you caught any of that Sasha Banks match this weekend.
No, I only saw a clip or two online. Wasn't it like a triple threat or a multi? Okay,
yeah, it was snug.
I didn't realize she was even wrestling this.
Yeah, I forgot about it, and I was like, I can't stay up that late, so I might catch it later. But yeah, it was one of those things where it's just like this is that. I would love to see Charlotte do something like that. I don't think she's interested in it, and I don't know if she needs to. It would be changing a lot of her style. I don't know if that would fit there, but I'm sure they would love to have her, and that would be pretty cool. I also don't know if she has any interest in doing anything in Japan, but if she came back with Andrade in AEW, that would be pretty cool. Bailey, I think the whole Bailey is like the I'm leaving tweets and stuff. I think that's just her fueling the fire. I don't think she has any interest in going anywhere else. I'm sure she would love to wrestle in certain places, but she's probably like, no, I'm good into WWE.
I think so. If we learned anything from Dax and his elaborate working on Twitter, I think it's hard to distinguish, though. You don't know if people are genuinely unhappy and we could see them hit the bricks, or if it's just, this tweet is a play for a storyline that you're going to see evolve over the next month or two.
It's hard to tell because he's pretty honest, especially on like
Yeah,
his podcast. So I
yeah.
believe him when he says that
Oh,
he
I get
wasn't
it.
happy. You know what I
I
mean?
get it. And then the best works are always where there's a hint of truth. Like
Right.
maybe he was, but then he got reassurance, and we believe that there was a chance that FTR. I mean, we'll save our FTR AEW stuff, but yeah, I think Bailey's also an expert worker in the ring and outside of it. Credit to her.
Yeah. Hopefully all of this from Bailey is just acting. But
Yeah.
speaking of acting, Tyler, it's time once again for another segment of GI at the movies. You are going to bring this to us having seen John Wick 4. I haven't seen it yet. I'm excited to hear your thoughts. I can't wait to see this movie. Play the music.
And now, it's time for GI at the movies.
Brad, I'm going to start with reading you what I prepared for notes for John Wick 4 after seeing it. It goes as follows. So good. Wow. Period. That's it. All caps. This movie was amazing. I must confess that I don't remember the plots of the previous John Wicks that well. So I didn't go in like, okay, let me binge the previous 3 so that I'm ready and I'm amped. I just kind of went into it blindly. But yeah, I saw it. I saw it with my dad, actually, because he's a big fan of these movies. And when I tell you, it not only delivered, it over-delivered. This may be the best one of the entire franchise.
Wow.
It was, Brad, this movie is nearly 3 hours long. That's a shoot. And somehow no time was wasted. I never got bored. There was no yawn from me. From start to finish, it is full action. The film itself is beautiful. Definitely some wrestling kind of overtures in terms of the characters. I thought of you on a few occasions where there were just personalities and comments and sort of archetypes that are total pro wrestling villain like, without spoiling too much. So that was great. And what was really profound about it was one, Keanu Reeves has really just molded a really fantastic career for himself. The whole John Wick character, if you're not familiar, is not heavy on dialogue. He just basically, his responses are either yeah, or maybe, or I know. And the rest of the movie is him just killing bad guys.
Sure.
In really lovely, creative ways. So I was happy for Keanu because I think this chapter of his career, no pun intended, has been just brilliant. And I think he's one of the most beloved entertainers in the industry. And I didn't realize he's almost 60. So that's
crazy.
That's pretty incredible. Dude looks great. And then secondly, the film ended in a way, much like the 3 previous ones, it ended in a way that has led a lot of fans to speculate whether that is the end of the franchise or if we're going to see John Wick Chapter 5 in a couple of years. So that also left us with just enough intrigue where I think a lot of us would be happy if it ended here, but we could also see the plot of a potential 5th movie. Finally, I want to give you some numbers here. Chapter 4 passed the 250 million mark in terms of the global box office just a couple of days ago. So I am so happy that other people have seen this and have loved it as much as me and my pops. I can't wait for you to see it. This is definitely not a Freya-centric movie, but
Right.
if and when you get the chance, and I don't even think you need to see the previous films. I don't know that it's required. I think when you get the chance to see this, Brad, you're going to love it just as much as I did. And I don't know, man. I may need to see it a second or third time again. It was so good. I highly recommend it. If you've seen it, if you agree, if you disagree, please hit us up, like Brad said, at GIPod19. Let us know what you thought, because I had an absolute blast and I cannot recommend it enough. It was a perfect movie.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see it then. Cause you got me all hyped. I might go watch 1, 2, 3 again. I saw them on one of the platforms this past week, and I was like, ooh, I might have to go watch this again. We are going to the movies tomorrow. It is not to see John Wick. We are going to the Super Mario Brothers movie. I can't wait. Frey is super excited. Roadhouse, popcorn. Going to be a good time. Can't wait. I can't wait for tomorrow. I love doing that stuff with the family.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Happy Easter. I can't wait to hear how that goes for you. That's amazing.
I can't remember how to say it now. I talked about it last year. Is Yostra, something like that, or Estra? I can't remember. but that's the original holiday that Easter is. It's an Anglo-Saxon holiday, not a Christian holiday whatsoever. That's why we have the bunnies and the spring celebration and all of that theme. Has nothing to do with Jesus.
And here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Easy to convert people if you just use the holiday that's there and tweak it a little bit to make it about something else. Same thing with Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well said.
And now it's time to talk AEW.
Well, rolling into AEW talk, I feel like I say this every single time, Brad. I had some difficulty trying to land on just one topic. I believe you and many members of the IWC coined this past Wednesday as Dynamite After Mania.
Yeah.
It was super newsworthy. Right off the bat, Jay White debuts.
First couple of minutes.
And I love how you kept me posted on it. So you told me, oh my, like he's here, he's here, Switchblade gift. And then I would say 5 minutes or less, you sent me the Tony Khan. He is all elite. Welcome to the team tweet. So obviously TK had that in the drafts ready to go. So we got him. We got an awesome match between Jamie Hayter and Riho.
So good.
I know I'm forgetting so much more that occurred.
FTR, man.
FTR, of
MJF,
course.
FTR, Riho, and Jamie.
Yes.
Like, absolute.
Burying the lead.
It was an amazing episode.
FTR saved their careers in AEW. They're the new champs. I know that made you and so many
the
people
Guns
happy.
Entrance.
I had that actually on my what did we miss part of the episode.
Perfect.
I loved the Guns entrance. I know you enjoyed their previous one. I think I now need them to come out to 50 Cent Many Men for every. But it was also for a special title match. Yeah. So it was just a really, really great episode of Dynamite for all those reasons. But here's where I'm going to take our focus to start. Tony Khan made the announcement on Dynamite, All In at Wembley Stadium. I'm going to go directly to the question for you, B. What do you make of this huge move for AEW's business and growth as a company? And I would like you to book at least one match that you need to see on this August show.
Okay. Man, trying to think of August. Is Josh Alexander going to be healthy by August?
I sure hope so. That dude is incredible.
Man, if we could get like a Josh Alexander, Omega, Okada triple threat match. Yes.
Please. Por favor.
Man, there's so many different things I would love to see. Okay. Mercedes Moné, Jamie Hayter, or Hikaru Shida. I'd be fine with either of them. But Mercedes and Britt are probably the play there. Like that's the one that makes the most sense. But Mercedes and Jamie in her home country.
I'm already dreaming about the pop she's gonna get.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so good.
The music, the dance,
probably getting the special entrance, right? Like
it's gonna be. I mean, I would love for her to make either. I think Jamie Hayter has to main event or open that show.
Yeah.
Period. Star.
Yeah. Saraya is going to be involved. Same deal for her. So I need Jamie Hayter and Mercedes in a match. I need that. And then I think Deonna Purrazzo is probably going to be wrestling somebody. God, I'm trying to think of like Julia. I would love that. Like we have to have Julia on this card. Damn it. So if Julia doesn't want to come to the States, maybe we should go to the UK. I don't know if I'm trying to think of like what forbidden door talent can we get, because we have ROH and AEW are the same thing now. So having like independent wrestlers plus ROH plus New Japan is awesome. And then some Impact thrown in there, but we'll have all that plus AEW, but AEW ROH are essentially the same thing now. I know they're not, but they are. And I'm not sure, maybe some GCW people, maybe we get Nick Gage going across the pond. I'm not sure if he's illegally allowed to travel outside the country.
That's funny. I was going to say that it sounds like, and maybe I missed this in the week that was, it sounds like you're really envisioning this massive show, AEW's biggest show by far.
You're really you cannot call it All In and not have it be a
Okay. I would
multi-promotional
say you're
event.
envisioning it's going to be the same spirit as All In from Chicago a few
It's
years
probably
back.
going to be Kenny and Will again in some fashion.
I was waiting for you to mention that.
It might even be
That seems
just,
like a layup, right?
it might just be the Elite versus the United Empire again. But Kenny is healthy now. Will's got to get healthy by then. I also can envision an Elite versus or maybe it's just Kenny and the Bucks versus CMFTR. At that point, I think Punk will be back. If they announce
You're
this
saying
show,
there's a chance.
if they announce this show, they're gonna get Punk back. I'm feeling like 90% at this point that he'll be back.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, like
Okay.
for the
I see
money,
you.
has to. So I think it's great if they made that move. Also, Nigel's there. We're underselling that. That's a big deal. To announce they're going to do Wembley, and I know it's the first and only show that has occurred or will occur in the UK. I don't care. Wembley is 90,000 seats, man. So they got to fill it somehow. So I'm just looking forward to the move. I think they're in a very healthy place.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. There's so many follow-up questions. Not only is this going to mimic the spirit of the original All In, but All Out also being, I think, the week after, currently set for the week following, the weekend, I should say, following this All In show. Uh, I have questions logistically, like, is All In at Wembley going to be a pay-per-view? Is it going to be on TBS or TNT? I believe Anthony Bowen's confirmed on Twitter. All Out is still supposed to be in Chicago
A week later,
the next weekend. So just like, is this going to be like we're booking for a separate show, but then these other matches will be in reserve for All Out? I think Brad, and those listening and watching I put a lot of faith into AEW more often than not. I'm sure they're going to execute this well. I'm sure it's going to be massive for their company. But this is uncharted territory for us as a fan base of AEW.
I have a theory here, and it's just a theory, as they haven't said anything. It'll probably be pay-per-view, but I think it might be this would be a good move to say Honor Club member exclusive. So if you were a member of the Honor Club, remember Ring of Honor is the one that hosted the first one.
Yep.
If they make this an ROH Honor Club exclusive, this is a great way to get people to pay for it. It's the reason that I got the New Japan subscription, is because of Wrestle Kingdom, because I knew that Mercedes was going to be on the show. So if they could do something like that, I'd pay $10 to watch that. Are you kidding me? Because I got to pay 50 the next weekend. So I think that would be a good way to do it.
Wow. Yeah, I can't wait to see what becomes of this. This is massive for them. Extremely ambitious, massive announcement. Great point about Nigel McGuinness signing with the team there. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what becomes.
Well, my AEW question is directly related, so let's get into it. AEW is heading to Wembley for AEW All In on Sunday, August 27th. Wembley seats 90,000 people. However, to watch broadcast AEW products, viewers have to access ITV4 or ITVX, their streaming service. So AEW is not nearly as well embedded across the pond. What does AEW have to do to ensure a successful event? And what numbers do you see as successful? So Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer reported that 25,000 early access signups for the pre-sale have already occurred as of Friday morning. What do you see as a successful attendance number? And what do they have to do to ensure this event is successful? So it's kind of related to like, what do you want to see on the card?
Yeah. Great question. I would say, God, I didn't know about that 25,000 number. That's great research by you. Great research by our research team here at GI that you then conveyed. My original thought was in the 40,000 range. I mean, again, like best case scenario, any wrestling company, especially AEW, sells the whole thing out, right? And then we can celebrate the sport we all love, this entertainment we all love. But I was originally thinking 40,000, maybe even 50. So I'll say 40 to 50,000 seats being sold, 40 to 50,000 fans would be a huge accomplishment and would be a success.
Yeah.
If they've already sold that 25 number, man, I'm a little dubious, Brad. I don't know if they're going to get to that full capacity.
Well, these are just signups.
And these are just signups, right? Yeah, these are just signups. I'm going to stick with 40,000. I'm going to commit to a number. Let's go 40K in Wembley, in that joint. And how can they make it successful? You listed out some great ideas there. I'm thinking Omega versus Osprey 2, Jamie Hayter. My original thought here was Jamie Hayter versus Jade Cargill, and you unify the
Yeah,
titles.
right.
And then presumably Jamie would go over in that way. CM Punk seems like the absolute get here. This, especially if this were his first match back, that has to be a must-see show, right?
Or Drew Galloway, if they
or
can't make it work.
Yeah. So Drew, like you mentioned earlier, Brad, with WWE, one of their top stars, Drew McIntyre, amazing, right? Love the work he's done there. The speculation that his contract is potentially up later this year. Yeah, if he were to leave WWE and he were appearing on this show, his first match outside of WWE,
Right.
that could only help get butts and seats and potential pay-per-views or subscriptions to be ordered. I think we're booking a really strong card here. Again, I know if we said CMFTR versus Elite, well, does Kenny not get that Osprey match? I think we would need to figure that out. Maybe that's at Forbidden Door, but I'm just getting giddy. I'm just feeling some goosebumps already thinking about what this card could look like. Give me Omega versus Osprey. Give me Jade versus Jamie. Give me Drew Galloway. Why not? And I'm already
first Miro since we've done this.
Yes, I'm already sold. Whether I need to do Honor Club, whether I need to pay 50, whatever I need to do, I'm going to be there to watch that thing.
Likewise, I'm absolutely going to be all in for that. I was like, I'm going to say it, and then oh God, here we are. I said it. I'm a dad. I get a pass. Man, so All In is in August. All Out is in August. August is going to be an expensive month. It's the start of the school year. We're going to figure it out, Tyler. I know next week we're going to probably talk some grad school. But speaking of school, I don't know if we want to call this the promo of the week. I think we have to call it the promo of the week. Tyler, I don't know how to preface this thing, so I'm going to talk about it after it. It's time for the promo of the week.
And now, the promo of the week.
Really appreciate you checking in on me. A couple of people have texted me, which is really nice. I told Jess, and I guess I was too vague, and she was like, your school or Freya's? So I get it. But she never followed up. She didn't ask if I was okay or anything. She just sort of ignored me. But anyway, the kids were fun. My barometer is and will always be the kids. If the kids aren't okay, I'm not okay. And if the kids aren't okay, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure they're okay. Why are you going on Facebook to fucking post about a damn at your school? I understand it's upsetting. I understand that you want change. I understand that our social contract is so screwed up that it might be unfixable. I understand that the MAGA right and that the 2A weirdos are probably to blame here. I get it. What are you going to fucking solve in third period by posting that shit? Aside from riling up people that you're following that are going to be going like, what happened? Barraging you with text messages and then reposting and spreading and posting and spreading. And like suddenly you got Nancy Thurber living over in fucking, I don't know, Green Valley going, I heard there was a that because fucking has to go online and post, this is unacceptable. No, Sherlock. Where did you go to school? That's some Harvard level bullshit coming out of your mouth. Like, just shut up, do your job, fucking be with the kids. What is wrong with you?
Okay. Some things happened at my school last week that is directly negative that I had some strong feelings toward, trying to process all of it. We're in a weird place right now, nationally, locally, and none of it is fun, and all of it is alarming. But I left angry about other things and not the thing that actually happened. But man, just keep the business off of the platform.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Maintaining kayfabe is a lost art. I think this is a case where probably all seems like all would have benefited from it. But Brad, we covered a lot of ground in maybe record time for us.
Yes.
I'm just going to ask you the question: what did we miss?
FTR, man, that match with the Guns was so good. My God, that was a good match. That was so much fun. They sold me several tickets during that show, and then I thought it was brilliant how they booked it. Get disqualified, FTR loses. I thought that was awesome. I love that Cash had to stop the throw out, stopped in midair. It was like, don't do it. And then they both rolled the Guns up for the 1, 2, 3 new champs.
Were you satisfied with that conclusion? It felt
Yes,
a little flat to
absolutely.
me. You were? Okay.
Totally.
Okay. I'm glad you were.
Totally, because it was they won with a wrestling move. They didn't have to win with like a big punch or something. They won with a wrestling move because they kept saying we're better wrestlers than you. So winning with a wrestling move made a wrestling move. It made a ton of sense because they are. But I also I think the Guns being a good tag team is kind of undeniable. I know a lot of people don't want to admit it, but
I can't hate on them as much anymore. I don't know if it's all credit. I don't know if it's all credit to the song and the entrance, but their in-ring work, man. This maybe we'll look back on this and think it wasn't a terrible experiment. They're established now as a real tag team in AEW.
They get tagged like as a tag team. They've been getting heat on AEW shows that it's been pretty good. The other thing we missed is the 3 Mile Island nuclear meltdown amount of heat that Dom got this week on SmackDown. That crowd was letting Dominic Mysterio have it. Like every time he'd put the mic up to his mouth, the boos got louder to a point where he was trying to shout over them and you still couldn't hear him. Just absolutely getting blowtorched. It's awesome to see. His ascension has been great. They clearly saw stuff in him that we didn't early on. And now we're here. I think this is great.
I need to find my unmute button. I was typing some thoughts there. Yeah, well said. Really strong week for AEW. And back to WWE. So, some highlights for me. Some positive talk. Ricochet won. He beat Ivar. Yes. So that's always gonna take that dub over here. Going back to Judgment Day, you mentioned Dom. Seeing Rhea Ripley walk out as champ, belt in hand, made me so happy. I'm so glad we're living in this era, this season where Rhea is getting the flowers she deserves. Yes. I'm going to be bold here, Brad. Some light NXT talk. Braun Breaker turned heel. And this made me also very happy instantly when he speared Carmelo Hayes. And he also did that I see your reaction. We're on YouTube. When he did that move, I don't know what he calls it, but he took Trick Williams by the throat and then just lifted him above his head like it's no problem and then power slammed him down. I instantly thought, okay, this is what's been sorely needed for Braun Breaker. Of course, we have to develop the character from here, but heel Braun Breaker might be the switch that needed to be flipped. And perhaps he's not getting called up imminently. Maybe he still has some business to take care of on NXT. Speaking of that show, Dragon Lee is here. Yeah. He had his first one-on-one match. That's very intriguing. And I don't know, maybe we'll get to a place where NXT is back to, being worthy television to watch weekly. I might not be optimistic about that, but I can have some hope there.
We'll see. Braun turning heel didn't feel like he was turning heel. Trick helped cost the match for him. So
this is true.
It just felt like retribution.
You're so right about that. Yeah.
You're still the good guy just beating up the two bad guys that won. And it's like, is he a bad guy? It's just the bad guy he's Rhea right now. Carmelo is just Rhea. He's so great. He is
so over.
He's undeniable.
He's him. Yeah.
So even though he's a bad guy, people don't care. I think Braun will eventually get to that level of like, he's just a badass heel now. So I'm glad for this shift in character because I think eventually that badass heel will just be who he is because that's what he should be, just killing people.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Kind of like Roman when not saying they're apples to apples, but I think that was what was obviously so sorely missing for Roman.
Be a badass.
Like, no, we don't want him to be this baby face, right? With selling the t-shirts and we just want him to kick people's ass. I think Braun is very similar that way. That's hilarious and so accurate. Yeah. Trick, cheated.
Yeah.
And that's why Melo's champion right now. There's still the bad guys in the scenario. Braun should be the one we're rooting for, but obviously the fan base has really shifted how that story's playing out. We want to root for Carmelo. We don't want to root for Braun, but it definitely defies the actual storytelling involved. You're right. If I could mention one more thing, Brad, we are on the cusp of the NBA play-in tournament, which means that we are nearing the NBA playoffs. I feel for you. It's another season where the Detroit Pistons are not in the postseason conversation.
About a month and a half ago that happened, I think.
This is true. But listen, man, I think this may have been from The Ringer. I really enjoy The Ringer's work. I think they released their updated draft guide, and they have the Pistons as selecting number 1. So obviously we won't know this until the actual draft lottery, unlike, say, the NFL, where the record will just tell you immediately.
Right.
But I'm just saying, my man, if the Pistons end up getting that number 1 pick and you get Victor Wembanyama, I don't think we're going to have many years in the future where we're saying, hey, the Pistons aren't a part of this conversation.
Yeah, young and crazy talented. Yeah.
You already got some infrastructure there.
Yep.
They're healthy.
Yep.
But yeah, man, the Suns are obviously kind of firmly planted in the West right now. Likely a number 4 seed, knock on wood. I'm sure we'll have more basketball talk forthcoming. I know I really praised March Madness, and I'm so happy women's hoops is now getting some justly deserved
good love, everywhere.
Yeah, and some Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese talk was definitely borderline problematic in some arenas. But man, I forgot just how much I love the NBA playoffs. I know I've been a big college hoop supporter, which is good, but the NBA playoffs are just. I'm already feeling a lot of excitement, man.
I can't wait.
This could turn into heartbreak, though, just like it did last postseason. So I'm going in knowing the risk, but I just can't wait for the next 2 months of hoops.
I heard kids, students, young people in the hall say they can't wait for WNBA games. They love women's college basketball. Yeah, they were like
high school.
To be honest with you, the women's tournament was way more entertaining than the men's tournament. Everything there just. And I don't know what it is. I think we were talking about, I believe me and Garen were talking about in the hallway, the women's basketball appeal feeling more like what the NBA felt like in the 80s, early 90s, where people were just sort of beefing. It just felt like more, I don't know, people were more invested than just, oh, I'm getting paid to do this. It's more like, no, I have to win. I need this. I want this. And no, I'm not going to be pals. Isaiah Thomas retweeting the corrected version of that video made me so happy. Just going, yes, he dropped 58. And then what happened?
The original Petty King.
Great.
I love Steph, but far before Steph, the original Petty King.
So good. It was so good. I saw that. I was like, that's amazing. It was so good. I love me some Pistons. So I have hope for the future like you. Pretty excited for the postseason. I don't know how much time I'm going to have, but I'm trying to watch as much as I can.
Yeah, man. Well, pretty excited about the conclusion of this episode. This might be, dare I say, record time for us. Yay for expediency on Gimmick Infringement, not our strong suit, but today it is. We are so grateful that you joined us. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Our last plugs, you can find us at gimmickinfringement.com. We have gimmickinfringementpod.com. We have articles, we have links. You can find information about our colleagues and our partners at 19 Media Group on there. So please give it a look and continue the support. Again, it means everything. You can find Brad on Twitter at WinDuster. You can find me at Tyler J. McDowell. You know we're at GI Pod 19. Also check out the team at 19M Group. And thank you so much again for being here, and we hope you will join us for the next edition of Gimmick Infringement. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Good Pods, our premier partners, and Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.